O'clock. Thanks everybody for getting on. Let's have a great meeting. I'm grateful. I am really grateful for how quiet my ears have become. Kind of knew the story. I got tinnitus. It was just like the most obnoxious and distracting thing I've had to deal with. And it was, I mean, there were some times where I'm like going, if I have to live the rest of my life like this, it's gonna really piss me off. And following the doctor's advice and guidance, I almost like don't want to jinx it and say, oh, it's working great, and then have it not work. But it's like my brain figured it out. And there's times where I forget that I even, that it was ever a thing, and I'll forget to put my hearing aids in. I left the house last week. I left the house one day. I turned around and went back because I'm like, it's just so quiet that I don't even notice that I need them. So, I am so grateful for that. It's a wonderful thing. So let's go ahead and Dean, you're up.
I'm grateful for Casey because I was jammed up on a jumbo loan and having some challenges with underwriting, and he walked through some stuff with me last night, and I was able to restructure everything, send over underwriting. They're like, okay, well, send it back through and we'll take a look at it. So I was grateful Casey took the time to help that. So that's awesome.
Team player.
Yeah, he's and my win for the week is I had a realtor that I'd met at an open house a while back and started to work with her, and then she just fell off the map. Never responded to my text message or anything like that. And she called me out of the blue and said, hey, I've moved over to a new place and I'd like to do lunch and start working with you. And I'm like, well, that's freaking awesome. So you never know. So that was a win. And for the week, I had one lead, one credit pull, one app, hopefully 2 by the end of the day, and another pre-approval by the end of the day, and 4 meetings.
Good job, dude. Great job. Jonathan.
Nice job, Dean. Good morning, y'all. This week, I'm grateful for my grandmother. She's 93 years old, and I was able to visit with her last week outside of Nashville. 93 and still like mentally sharp. She's still herself. And I just try not to take for granted all the time I get to spend with her, because at 32, it's a blessing to still have her in my life. So super grateful for her. My win for the week is I have been staying in touch with the team lead in Kentwood that I got put in contact with, and she likes me so much that we're doing another open house this weekend. So excited to keep building that rapport and close the conversion on that so I get some deals from her. My numbers for the week, I had 2 leads, 2 face-to-face, a credit pull. I'll have 1 event, and I got 4 shoppers.
Right on. Those deals are going to start popping, dude. Good job. Jack.
I am grateful I've got a broker open that I'm co-hosting this afternoon on a $2.5 million property. Excuse me, with an agent that does quite a bit of business at that level. And then tomorrow I have a PT workshop that I was doing just to help generate some business for my 2 friends that do PT. And I've got about 10 clients and realtors that are showing up for that. So got some good events planned and going. Numbers, I had 3 leads, 1 credit pull, 5 pre-approvals, and I'll have 6 face-to-face by the end of the day.
Right on. Good job. Chad Ogmer.
Morning, gang. I'm grateful that tomorrow I head to Philmont Boy Scout camp with my son and can quit being so phenomenally dialed in on my eating habits. I would say in the workouts too, but considering I'm getting ready to hike 4 to 5 miles a day with like
I don't want you to quit being all dialed in.
No, not dialed in. No, not quitting, but at least like not be stressed about it, I suppose is a better term. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
No, like last night we had a house tour in our neighborhood for the swim team. So people who have recently done major renovations to their homes get to go through it all. And, you know, there's wine and beer at every place. I'm like, I'm good. But anyway, My win for the week's kind of a funky one. Our neighbors are selling their house. The agent I know, never worked with, and I went out just to say hi and was chatting with her because for some reason she was putting in her own sign. She was complaining because she normally doesn't, and it was stuck. And so I sat there and helped her fix her sign and get it in the yard, and we just started chatting. And so we're gonna get coffee when I get back from Philmont. So that was pretty fun.
How long are you going to be on this hike?
9 days.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, they wanted to do 12, and I'm like, no, not because of the hike, just because of the length away. That's just, I don't know, gives me anxiety being away.
Where are you going?
Philmont is in northern New Mexico, so it's east of Taos, and it's really just east of Angel Fire.
Oh, okay. I know
Cimarron,
where
New
that is.
Mexico. If you know Cimarron, that's the closest town.
I've ridden around down there.
Yeah. So, if you're ever in Cimarron, apparently St. James Hotel is haunted, and a pretty cool thing to go check out.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow. Well, good job on good job on the eating, man.
yeah, thanks, man. And numbers, I had one lead in, no credit pulls, no apps, I don't think. Yeah, and 3 face-to-faces so far. I think I should get another one in this afternoon. Yeah.
Jay Meanwing.
Hey there. All right. So I'm
How's
thankful
Caleb's
for-
shoulder first? How's Caleb's shoulder?
Caleb is, I mean, that's like a win for me. He hurt his shoulder pretty bad. He saw multiple doctors this week. We had an MRI done. MRI showed that there was potential that he might need surgery. One doctor said something, another doctor said something else. So this doctor that we started talking to just 2 days ago, he put Caleb through the ringer. He's had cupping, he's had shockwave therapy, he's had manipulation, dry needling, everything. And his range of motion is like up to here now. And it's kind of impressive with what's going on. And we did some cryo too. So I think we're going to be able to avoid surgery. I think we're hopeful that he could play come July 10th out in New York. So all in all, I mean, I think that's my biggest win for the week is just that, we went through a lot. He went through a lot, and he's responding well to the treatment. It's better than expected. And I think we're going to be able to avoid surgery, which is the number one goal overall. So, yeah. Thanks for asking. I'm thankful for Lauren. She was just so amazing with the way she worked with one of our clients, and just being able to hold this person's hand and guide them through, like the little things, like just getting URLs, on the bank statements and things like that they were having a hard time doing. She was so great with them, and the clients were so thankful for her. And I just felt like she deserved a little shout out for everything she's done so far in a short period of time too. So thankful for Lauren for sure. This week, a little slow, 1 lead, no credit pulls, no apps, no new pre-approvals, and only 1 face-to-face. So.
Lori, sorry. I almost skipped you.
Hi, everybody. I am grateful that I was able to spend some time with my sister. She came into town on Tuesday. Her son is one of the coaches for the Dodgers. And so the Dodgers were in town to beat the crap out of the Rockies. So I got to go see one of those games on Tuesday. It was an amazing game. So it was fun to be able to spend time with her, be on the field, see some of the players, watch.
What was it, 7 runs in the 9th inning?
7th and at the top of the ninth. Oh, it was
Jesus.
amazing. It was awesome. Ohtani had 2 home runs, I think, that night too, and it was fun to watch. They classify him as one of the Beatles. They say he's a Beatle because they have so much security around him and stuff, but that was fun. My win is I had an expo a couple weeks ago, and I got a couple really, really good leads from that. So I'm following up on those, and I have a couple coming in on Monday to prepare to do the app. So things are
Did you
starting.
do an app this week too?
Pardon me?
Did you do an app this week too?
I'm doing an app. No, I'm doing it on Monday, next Monday.
Oh,
So
hold on.
anyway, that's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, Casey Clement. Oh, we already did. No, we didn't. Go ahead.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I am grateful for our new puppy.
Have you seen this guy? Oh my God. Look at that dog. Look how cute that. Hold him up again.
A little pocket dog.
Puppy, a purse puppy.
I'm a big dog fan. But my wife requires that we have a small dog as well to balance it out. So this dog's actually pretty cute. It's hard not to like a puppy. So that's been fun. This week I had one new lead, one credit pull, one pre-approval. I had another contract in that'll be triggered this morning. And
Right on.
the win for the week was honestly getting this contract. It's I think Haber was the one that told me about this probably 6 or 8 months ago now, probably, with the change wholesales, no doc loan. So if you guys don't know about this, no documentation, literally credit report and 30 days bank statement, one month bank statement. They have to show 6 months of reserves and be able to put 30% down, or 9 months of reserves and put 25% down. That's it.
Holy mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Holy mid-2000s indeed.
Agent calls me and goes, this guy's a professional gambler, doesn't show normal income, doesn't have 12 months bank statements. Do you have a program for this? I'm like, well, actually we do. I don't know how or why, but we do.
No,
And
that's
what's the rate
no,
on
here's
this?
how. I'll tell you how, and I'll tell you why. Because before the freaking mortgage meltdown where it got stupid, those loans make sense. 30% down payment equity, a 30% equity position for the lender is like, go ahead, don't make payments. We'd love to buy that house. We'd love to own your house, because there's 30% equity in that property, and property values only continue to rise unless we have a mortgage meltdown, which we won't do. But the reason it got crazy in the mid 2000s was because they quit doing that. They like, how about no doc 100% financing? Yeah, let's do that. And that's retarded. And so, and then, down to a 600 FICO score, and like, Jesus Christ, we're not like, this is terrible that we're doing these loans. And that one makes sense. And
Yeah.
so,
I mean, that's what we were talking about. And I, of course, talking to agents, I just said, hey, it's a large down payment. They have to have a lot of capital to be able to do this.
yeah.
And they're willing to take the risk, because if they default, they're still in a good position. Right. So
You're verifying the assets. I saw a stated income verified asset program on somebody in one of the, I get a lot of wholesale emails, and I'm sure you guys do too. And I'm waiting for the no asset verification programs to come back, but we're still require the big down payment. Because when the no asset verifications come back, then you can do almost anything. And it's cool what you can put together, because if you don't have to verify where the down payment's coming from, you can do almost anything.
Dude, it's awesome. You can just get me in touch with all the drug lords in Denver, and I'll be slanging houses. It'll be sweet.
Dude, I'm telling you, it works.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
and it's only 30 days seasoning too. Right. So that's it. 1 month bank statement to let it season for a month, and you're good.
Case, what's the rate on that puppy?
It's a little pricey. It's a 9% rate with like 2.25 points or 2 points plus a 2.5% broker fee.
And then you make 50 bips?
50 bips.
yeah, we're going to be working on changing that.
Yeah,
Well,
that was going to be my next question. I was like, we're talking 2.5. Why am I only getting 50?
This is VIP's freaking program. It makes me nuts.
It makes no, because
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't
11%.
like if we had better bips, we'd be able to do those more, right? Which
Yeah.
is anyway, sorry, off track.
Yeah. That's a question for another day. I actually was going to ask Dave that when I started looking at it. I was like, that seems weird, but it's the first time doing one of these. I think Aaron Payne was the one that told you about it, Hauber, back in the day. They changed the program and it's even more favorable now. But talking to the client, you just say, hey, this is what it costs. This is your only option. And they go, okay. They got a 50K concession from the seller. So they're covering all of their costs. It's no big deal.
So it's never a rate sensitive to your point, Ryan, you ask them what the rate is, like the customer just doesn't care.
Right.
They're like, I get the house, I'm good, let's go.
Yeah.
And so, because it really isn't for a wage earner, it's for somebody like this. And there's a lot of people like this. There's a lot of people out there like this, and you can make a name for yourself where you can, if you become a resource for lenders, like going, I know a guy that might be able to do that. And then all of a sudden you're getting all their business. So good job, dude. Great
Hey,
job.
JT, what's your plan on like refinancing? You're gonna show him how to like file his taxes correctly or something?
Yeah, so he'll refile his taxes and get it all amended and corrected this year. It's a 12 months EPO on it, so we've got a lot of time. And even then, I don't know that he'll show the proper amount of income regardless. But that was the conversation with him. He goes, I won a boatload of money last month, like won a massive poker tournament, and he goes, I need to park that money somewhere else so I don't bet it all.
That's cool.
So we go, great, here we go. This is what we're doing.
Huge win. You got numbers?
I already did my numbers.
All right. Good job, dude. Really good job. Chris Haber.
That's so funny.
It's
Smart
awesome.
though. I guess I don't spend it. Let's see. I have 13 leads month to date, 8 credit pulls. I'll have 4 apps today. I'm gonna lock in 2 refis. That'd be nice. And then 5 pre-approvals. So it seems to be picked up this last week as far as leads go. I think this week I've got about like 6 or so. So that's good. No meetings. No, I didn't have school, so my schedule's all effed up this week. But I'm grateful for my parents. They took Noah last night and tonight, so Emily and I can have like a date night, which is going to be hard to get moving forward with 2 kids. So it's nice to just went to Sushi Den last night, and then tonight we're just going to watch a couple movies and veg out. So it's nice. And then a win. Yeah, it's for primary only, I'm pretty sure, right, Casey?
Yeah.
A win, sorry. Brad, my favorite underwriter, just kept denying my freaking weird income calculation, and they said they called Fannie, and I was like, no, let me call Fannie. I think I explained the situation differently than he did, and they're like, yeah, you can do that, and got the income approved. So sometimes, just trust your instincts and push harder.
What was the income? Push harder.
It was a really funky.
one
No, to
where
be
they were
fair,
double
it was
counting the
no.
line.
To be fair, it was really funky. Go ahead, tell him. It was a funky.
Yeah, lots to learn.
He owns a business, 100% S corp. He also owns the building that his business runs out of, and he pays himself rent.
Yeah, you're allowed to count that.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Didn't know that. You should call Brad and tell him.
Like that's pretty self-explanatory.
So, but he
But it was what made it. That wasn't the funky part. That wasn't the funky part.
He has the mortgage on his credit report, but he's a joint holder with the business. So it's like a weird business loan / he's like co-signed for it. It's weird. So I was like, well, you can't count it twice. You're counting against him on the rent side of the business as an expense, and then you're counting against him on the credit report personal side. And they're like, you can't. They're like, it was like the way they explained it, I was like, it doesn't matter. They wanted to exclude the mortgage on the credit report, yes, but add it into the rental income calc. Which means you didn't exclude it because you added the PITI back into your calculation. And I was like, well, luckily I sent it to Casey, and he highlighted that sentence for me. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that. You're right. Thanks, Casey. That's 2 loans you saved this week. Anyway, so yeah, does that make sense, Ryan?
Yeah, kind of.
No,
Yeah.
when you looked at the 2 tax returns, I even called Haber and I'm like, is this guy fucking like expensing this? Is he like really abusing his taxes here? And that's what makes it hard to calc, because it almost was like he's expensing it on 2 different tax returns, and it was weird, right? But you have to think through it. And it was complicated. It is complicated. Sometimes it's complicated, and you got to know, you got to be able to have, your math brain working to make sure that you understand what the deal is so that you can get through it like that. We still have to find 2 yes investors on it, because right now we only have 1 yes, and we have 1, you guys make the call, which is not yes, which is them saying like, yeah, you can ship it to us. We may not buy it, but but
It's like
I
40%
need to have
down,
2 homes.
so
We need to have 2 homes for it.
it is 40% down though. And you just said that, anyone will take a 40% down loan. So
No, I didn't just say that. I said at 9% they will. Give me you want to charge them 9%? We'll do it.
I love pushing hard just to get loans done. It's my job.
That's what Kelly said about Hobber. She goes, dude drives me crazy, but if I need a loan, I'd want him to be my loan officer. Ryan Pettigrew.
Well, happy Friday. I am grateful. I'm grateful that I get to play golf during like Saturday mornings while having 2 children. My wife is amazing and gives me a little bit of peace and time with friends. So grateful I've been able to do that a little bit. And leads, looks like I only had 2. I thought I had 3. But I don't know if you guys are feeling this. I feel like leads are down, but like lead quality is up. At least that's what I'm seeing. Like it's the people that are like, they're not, hesitant. They're obviously, if somebody's wanting to buy right now, they're out there pretty opportunistic. So yeah, I got a couple leads, 2 contracts, 1 meeting. Let's see, I had like 3 credit pulls and 2 pre-approvals. So overall, not too bad. Just trying to
Good,
get
actually.
now it's time to get back into getting some more meetings.
Right on. Sounds pretty good. Giuseppe, he was at a closing. Christine has a trauma deal that she had to take over. So, she just got it last night late and she's working on it. So that's why she's not on. Giuseppe, go ahead.
Giuseppe's in the clouds, man. Can't hear you. You're muted, G.
All right. I don't have my numbers. I emailed them to Dave though last night because I didn't think I'd be joining this meeting so early.
I wanted to show, I'm sharing the picture that you sent. I'll give you, I'll read the numbers to
Oh,
everybody,
yeah?
but go ahead.
Oh yeah.
This is such a cool picture.
Yeah, first baseball game and last baseball game of their career, of Lucas' career, we think. So that's what I'm grateful for. For the first time that his team made it all the way to like I guess what they call the World Series. And it's a fun evening game on Wednesday. Beautiful field, national anthem, announcers. They announced all the names and everything. So they got like some rings at the end. And so it was a really cool experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a cool picture of him running the first in the little kid picture is like so cute.
Yeah, unfortunately they lost 11-8 in the 6th inning and went 6 innings. And unfortunately he was the very last batter. He was the 3rd out. The first 2 guys struck out and he got a hit, but it was an easy play for the second baseman to pick it up and throw it to first, and he sprinted and like slid head first, and he almost got there. He's fast, but the ball got there first, so he took it pretty personally that like that's how his baseball career ended. But he's better now.
That's cool. That's cool. Your numbers were let's see, 6 leads, 5 credit pulls, 2 face-to-face. Added 4 pre-approvals with 45 total pre-approvals. You had 8 contracts. You lost 1, so 7 new applications, 7 locks. So That's a pretty productive week, my friend.
Yeah, it was, and the World Series game.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was a good week. And
Uh,
yeah, the win is just you know, I don't know if you guys talked about it last week because I had to miss last week too, but you know, Ryan sent me this cool idea of texting some agents that I would be willing to do a lender paid 1-0 buy down, which costs what, like 80 basis points, something like that, Ryan?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. And basically they can add it to the MLS that if they work with me, they have this 1-0 buy down that's lender paid. And I just really like how Ryan framed the text where it's like about them, you know, like, hey, just want to get some extra eyeballs on your listing, and maybe this will prevent the buyer from asking your seller for extra money since they're already getting a free buy down. And not that, you know, I'm thrilled, like all of us, to be doing like discounted loans, because we probably have to do something like that. You can't, it's going to be hard to be competitive and build in, you know, 80 basis points into the price. But it'll probably be some combination. But then when I think about it, I'm like, I was never going to have a shot at those buyers, right? This is the listing of the realtor that I work with. And this way, at least you have a shot at some of these buyers and another agent that you can meet. And last night I got a text from one agent that is like, hey, she saw it on another agent's listing that I work with. So I'm pretty sure that between both of them, I'm going to get this buyer if they make an offer on this place. So, and even if they don't make an offer, once you have that first conversation, you have a good chance, right, of retaining that buyer. So, so yeah, that was a great idea. I've been on Tuesdays, I do all my realtor check-ins and text, and I've probably gotten through half the list over the last couple of weeks, and the feedback's been great, and realtors are starting to add it, and I'm starting to get some phone calls from potential buyers. So nothing's lost yet. Hello?
Oh,
you
we're
were cut
back.
out there first, the last like
Oh.
10 words.
Oh, I was just saying it's really cool, and I thought it was just a great idea.
Yeah, right on. It is a good idea. We're going to have to work on, we'll have to work on some kind of a, if we're going to do this, we can turn it into a program that we can create a different comp model for it, where
Yeah, that's
we
what I
have
was
an actual
thinking, yeah.
program for it, so that we're not, so that it's not, you don't want to jack the price up on the customer so much that the customer's like, well, yeah, but you know, you're starting me at 8. So it's,
Yeah.
I'm going
I
from
mean,
7
some
to, I can't,
programs,
like if I can
like
get
that-
7, but you're starting me at 8, and then I go to, you know, I'm going to start at 7, but end up at 8. Like you're not doing any
Yeah.
favors for me, right?
I mean,
yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to go that much because there is
No.
SRP now in there, especially like some FHA loans. I mean, it's like what, 6.7 par and 6.1 with a point. So, I mean, you could get some pricing.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, another
Figure
thing is
something out.
too is like, if
Yeah.
you can do a branch lead, do, you know, premium price at 30 bips. You can do an internal referral and not really have to premium price it at all. You know, so I don't know. I'm not sure we necessarily need a whole other program for the difference between an internal referral at 75 and 80 on
Well,
that,
I mean,
right?
I think, yeah, I haven't done the math yet, but I think, you know, with our new P&L type model, you know, there isn't like, it's not like it used to be because Zenith isn't making as much money. So, you know, we're not taking off 100 basis points or something like that without cutting into commissions. But we need to talk about that.
Well,
Let's
no,
see.
Ryan, the
So-
purposes of building out a special program is so that you guys can have a, you know, we don't really follow the NMLS rules to a T when it comes to,
Just a heads up,
and
nobody
so-
does.
yeah, I know, but, if we had a program guide, if we could slot it into a program because it's an actual program that we offer, kind of like we do with the refis, then we've got a legit program for it.
Or like a lot of in-house lenders do with a builder.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like that. Right on. Cool. I got everybody, right? Any other subjects anybody wants to talk about or cover or anything that came up this week?
Ryan,
I'll
will
give
you
you-
share that verbiage? If you haven't already,
$5.
You got it. That's
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody. I've also got I've got like a little one pager too. For those that use Canva, I'll put the template link because I'm not going to update it for everybody, but you can figure out how to use Canva and put your own picture on there. But the template link, you can go in, put your info and your picture on there, and then you'll have a little one pager you can send over to the agents because a lot of them want that too.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've actually seen that on a listing. It was a week or two ago that one of my buyers was going to look at, and I pull it up and it says right on there, you know, if you use this lender, you'll get a 1-0 buy down.
Was it Ryan?
It was not Ryan. It was somebody, I want to say it was at Guild.
Yeah, it's a great. Yeah, I heard Amir Syed said this. Like when it's rainy season, you can mark you can mark your umbrellas way up and sell them because everybody wants an umbrella. But when it's not rainy season and you're trying to sell umbrellas, you should probably mark them down. And loan officers and mortgage companies are all doing this right now. But if you're a loan officer and you're not doing this, you're making a mistake. If you're still trying to like, I want to max out my comp, it's like, okay, well, you're not being very business savvy here because it's a slower market.
Well, it's
And-
almost marketing dollars.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's marketing dollars. It'd be no different than spending a bunch of, that's a great point, Chad. It'd be no different than spending money on Facebook ads to get leads, wouldn't it? Isn't it? It's the same thing. And this is a lot, but there's so many, this is a great multiplier opportunity because you're going to meet a buyer's agent that you weren't going to meet. You've already got an in with the listing agent because the listing agent knows you and trusts you. So they're going to be apt to take your offer, right? If it's that buyer and they're using Zenith, and you're going to meet a buyer that you wouldn't have met. And if they don't get the house, if they end up not getting the house, they might have, you can offer them as like going, dude, I might be able to offer the same thing. If you tell me who the listing's with, I might be able to offer the same thing if you're going to make an offer on another house. So now you can just capture the buyer, and pick up another deal. And it's to your point, Chad, it's just marketing dollars. That's all you're doing. Nothing wrong with it. But-
Woohoo, Ryan.
To speak to what Casey was bringing up, Giuseppe actually brought this up earlier this week as well, is that after we do the split with VIP, we'll take a look at all of the broker model options that we have and figure out a way. You got to make a point. I mean, and we can, it's 50 basis points and, you're learning, to Giuseppe's point, is like, you have to learn a whole new product, which is not nothing. And you have to, and it's a wholesale, it's a non-delegated deal. So there's it's a little hairier to just, you don't control the underwrite and you don't know what that process is going to be like. So you want to develop relationships with those wholesale reps for sure. Like you need somebody that you can call when things aren't going the way you need them to go on those transactions so that you got somebody fighting for you in their back room. But I made I learned how to do loans like that. And I think there's probably not a huge market, but there's definitely a market for people who want to buy a house, but they don't qualify normal. They don't have normal qualification standards. People don't think there's loan programs out there like this, the non-QM world. And there's still not a lot of non-QM business happening, but part of the reason is that people don't know about it. It'll become more mainstream the more that people have opportunities to do stuff like what Casey's doing. So the more people hear about it.
I said this to Dean yesterday because he was talking about a DSCR loan for an investment property. Lean on those reps. I mean, those guys they know their stuff inside and out, and we don't, right? I said to him, one of the first conversations I had with one of them was like, talk to me like I'm a first grader on this stuff because I've not done one of these. I don't know how to set this up. I don't know exactly what you guys are looking for. And they're incredibly helpful. You know, they want those deals just as bad as you.
Well, they're getting paid for you to bring that deal in, right, guys? So they're like earning they're straight, those guys are straight, those AEs are straight commission. So they're just trying to get business, and their goal is to get as many deals closed every month as just like yours is. So they're on your side.
Hey, Casey, I know I missed the beginning of the call. What was it? The community mortgage?
Yeah. The change
Okay.
wholesale community, no
Yeah.
doc loan.
So basically it's like just 25% down now instead of 20. It used to be 20, then they took it away and now it's 25, right? But
Yeah, but they decreased the amount of reserves. So it used to be 20 in 12 months. Now it's 25 in 9 months or 30 in 6 months.
okay.
And they
Okay.
used to do 60 days of seasoning. Now it's only 30
For assets.
for assets. Yep. So you only need 1 month
Okay.
bank statement.
Dude, you could go to
Okay,
town with this,
cool.
man. You could go to town with this. You should market that you have a no doc program on your social media channels. If anybody, if you don't qualify like a traditional borrower, but you've got a 25 to 30% down payment, you should give me a call. Or you have access to a 25 to 30% down payment. Because if it only takes 30 days of seasoning, they can borrow the fucking down payment. They can go here's what we did. So here's my old loan. And you could do this all day, Casey. This guy can go get his money back. He's got a good credit score.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
720 something.
Almost any bank on the planet will give him a 20% HELOC after he closes. So he'd have access to that down payment money after he parks it in his house. He'll still have access to it. So that was my program. I was doing it was a 75% no doc loan. It was no income, no asset, essentially no doc, no income, no asset, no employment verification loans. I did them for realtors that were new to the business, that didn't have 2 years worth of tax returns. Obviously they had good credit and they had a down, but even if they didn't have a down payment, they weren't making any money yet. But hard to go out and be a realtor and not own a house, right? Like that'd be hard. It'd be hard to be, I'm selling houses. I don't own one. You should. And so they all wanted to buy a house, and I was working with a lot of newer, younger real estate agents, and Greenpoint had that program. For the people that didn't have a down payment, I worked out a deal with US Bank where I had a rep at US Bank that I was using that I would send the customer to, and once they found the house, US Bank with their credit score would be willing to do a 25% HELOC in second lien position and give them the money the day before closing. So they'd get the down payment check. They'd go to US Bank, sign the paperwork. It's a 1-page document. They'd sign the paperwork and they'd go to the closing the next day. And here's my down payment. And that was the program. And Ronell Richmond, who's one of our best clients, he called me after because that was one of the early ones that I did. And he called me on it. Because once you explain to realtors what you have in these programs, don't keep this to yourself. All your realtors need to know that you know how to do this loan, Casey. And because when your realtors know, then they know people who like, oh shit, I know a guy. Right. And so that's how I got a ton of business. And Ronell Richmond called me. He's the guy that handles all our moving. We're still friends, 30 years later, 30 almost. Yeah. And he's like, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. Because this is wrong that I have a check for a house I don't even own yet. How are you fucking doing this? I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get arrested or something. I go, dude, relax. It's fine. And he's like, I don't understand how they're giving me the money. And I said, because they're not going to record their lien. And the title company has to record their lien. The title company has to ensure Greenpoint that they're in first lien position. So it's on the title company. If for some reason, because that'd be the only hiccup, right? If the second got recorded at the courthouse first, right? But the title company has to ensure that. So it's like a no-brainer. And yeah, it was. So if you can figure out a way to do loans like that people can't do, you become like a go-to guru. Everybody knows you and everybody wants to know you. And then the word spreads. So you got to let your realtors know you know how to do a loan like that. And when we get more of this wholesale, this non-QM stuff, it isn't what you're going to be. It's not going to be your business, right? But it's going to be, you have another solution. So you become somebody else that you have. And this is a great reason to pick up the phone and call another realtor and talk about how things are going. Hey, by the way, I got to tell you about a program that we have. This is a really cool program. And it's one of the things I'm going to focus on. I was talking to I'm just talking to all these people. And I was talking to a guy who could have been like a lock desk person for us. And, but he can't, but he referred me. He's heard what I was doing. He's like, hey, the company I'm working for, it's a credit union out in California, and they're getting ready to roll out a correspondent lending program, very limited basis. And they're looking for just good lenders in different markets. They don't want to do the whole country with every lender on the planet. They want good. So I think we're a good match for them. And I talked to the guy. They got a 1-1 interest only jumbo arm, and they got a 5-5 interest only jumbo arm, and with like a smoking rate, I guess. And so I don't know what the rate was, and I don't know what the LT, I don't know anything else about the parameters, but anyway, I talked to the guy. He used to run wholesale at Fairway. And so that was our connection. And so we connected, and he goes, yeah, dude, I'll give you a call. He goes, we're about 2 or 3 months away from releasing it. I'll make sure I give you a call. Now, I don't know what the parameters are for being approved by him and whether or not we can, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to be like out scouring for, because just having a unique product that not everybody else has can set you apart. And you can have a unique product that everybody else does have. They just don't know how to sell it or how to use it, because everybody had access to GreePoint. It wasn't like I was the only one, but nobody figured out how to do the loan. And that's the advantage, Casey, is you figured out how to do the loan, and that's where the value is.
Hey, Casey, what was the cost structure on that? Because I know when I price out loans there, you basically are getting at like par or just under par. How many points did you have to charge? Like, did VIP have a requirement? Like, you gotta gross this much for your 50 bips that you're getting?
Yeah, so it's a 2.5% broker fee, and then it's the current rate sheet. They have a promo this week. I'm getting the updated one right now, but it was anywhere between 9 and 9.5%, costing anywhere from like 2.25 to like 1.25 points. So, okay, total cost for them was, just call it roughly 4 points. We get paid 50 bips. So 9 to 9.5% at roughly 4 points.
Okay.
Is there 4 points of revenue in the loan? Or are you buying the rate?
Oh, you have to buy the rate, right? So there's no par rate for this one.
Is there a cost?
4%, and you're getting paid a half, Casey?
What's that?
No, that's the question, is that par? Like, that's a zero price on their rate sheet?
Yeah, there is no zero price on their rate sheet. So at 9.5, which is their highest rate on it, it was like I'd have to pull it up. I can send it to you.
So there was a cost for the rate.
There's a cost for the rate, and then you have the 2.5% broker fee on top of it.
Okay, so the cost was 1.5.
Yeah, we get 50
okay
out of that 250 basis points.
I know it's been a while.
So the cost was 1.5.
But usually points means there's like cost to the rate.
Right. So there's a point cost to the rate, and then the 2.5% broker fee on top of it.
To make the 50.
Yep.
That's not right.
Yeah, 250 to make 50.
Right. So we're charging a 250 broker fee and we get 50 back.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
It is.
That's why I'm like, nah, we don't do those. Bank statement loans.
We'll get that taken care of, fellas. Don't worry. We'll get that taken care of.
But gee, I don't know if you heard this. The seller was giving a 50K concession.
I did catch that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. What's the
purchase price? What's your purchase price and loan amount?
1.9, 30% down.
1.9?
Yeah.
Casey with the high-end buyers.
This one came straight from the Bear team, dude.
I like how 1.9 is now 1.9, not 190.
Casey's clients are all drug dealers. That's the deal, is they don't have any way to verify their income. So
I just know them all personally.
They do want a $2 million house.
So your 50 bits is like 8 grand. Okay. Not upset.
Yeah, but I'd rather have it be 100. You know, charge them 200, we get a 80, whatever it is.
Yeah, but it still doesn't suck.
It does, no, it doesn't. I'm not complaining. I just looked at it. I was like, that seems a little off, but
Yeah, this is why it's this kind of thinking that created the NAR lawsuit, just so we're all fucking clear. Bigger loan, I should make way more money. It's like, it's the same amount of work.
yeah, but you know, you call it a $800,000 loan and
Yeah, you're thrilled,
Yeah.
right?
then you're like 50 bips on that. That's
Yeah, but it's what's jacked up about it is there's 2.5 basis points in revenue minus 50. There's still 2 points. That's a screwed up. I'd fucking love that. I'm gonna change all your comp plans to 50. How about that? Like, that's just a messed up math function.